and pledge?
Last time I checked, no, but last time I checked, no, I didn't see
Okay,
anyone
that's
doing
all
the
right.
invocation.
That's okay. I can do that. For our invocation, I have patience is not about how long you wait. It is about how well you behave while you are waiting. Again, our invocation is patience is not about how long you wait. It's about how well you behave while you are waiting. If you would put your hand over your heart, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, and I will relinquish our podium over to our Toastmaster for the evening, and that is Cheyenne, if you would. Come on up.
Hello, everyone. As she said, my name is Cheyenne. I'll be your Toastmaster. Our meeting usually comprises of 3 parts, speeches, table topics, and then our evaluation portion. So I'm not sure if we have any speeches tonight, but let me double check. But we will go over the rules. Okay, we do not have any speeches, so we will do an extended table topics. So before we do that, we'll just go through our rules real quick. If I could please get the table topics master to describe his role.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. My name is Kyler, and I will be the table topics master. My goal this evening will be to ask questions that will keep you on your feet, get you ready for the elevator conversations that you'll have in real life, and help you improvise. Back to you.
Thank you. If I could also hear from our grammarian this evening.
Good evening. My position tonight is that of a grammarian, and I will be listening for during the speeches, whether they be prepared speeches, pocket speeches, table topics. I will be listening for misuse of the English language as well as for the evaluations. I will also be giving you the word of the day and recording how often it is used. So our word of the day is apotheosis. Let me make sure I'm saying that properly. Apotheosis, apotheosis, and it is the highest point in the development of something. And it's a noun. It says, the sentence says, his appearance as Hamlet was the apotheosis of his career. His appearance as Hamlet was the apotheosis of his career, the highest point in the development of something, and it is a noun. Back to you, Cheyenne, Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, Olivia. Apotheosis, so we'll try to use that today. All right, and then do we have an all counter separately today? All right, Carrie.
Good evening, everyone. My role is all counter tonight. My responsibility is to count and report a number of unnecessary sounds, filler words, and repetitive words. Back to you, thanks.
All right, and then our general evaluator.
I'm sorry, I was trying to put the sentence. I am the general evaluator. Yes, that's right. Okay, so my role as general evaluator will consist of just giving a brief synopsis of how the meeting went or how the meeting is going. I will also call on all of the other Toastmasters that have a role, such as the grammarian, the timer, and I will get their reports as well, and I'll give my final report at the end. Back to you, Carrie. Back to you, Cheyenne.
All right, thank you so much. And then last but not least, our timer.
Yes, thank you for this Toastmaster and on guests. My role of the timer was basically keeping track of the time. In this case, it's going to be 1 to 2 minutes since it's just going to be table topics. So The time would be this would be 1 minute. This green fell cold. 1 minute and 30 seconds would be this vintage this burnt orange cuddle. And 2 minutes would be this red AMC card. Thank you. Back to you, Mrs. Toastmasters Master. Wait. Mrs. Toastmaster.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so since we do not have a speech, which is usually the apotheosis of the skills that we acquire in table topics, in Toastmasters, we will skip straight to the table topics, which are still good for helping us, as stated before, in those situations where you don't know what to say. And I've told Kyla this, but where I used to work, we would always run into our CEO, but he was like really awkward, and I didn't know how to handle being around him. And I cringe when I think about it, but my go-to was always like, oh, the weather outside is nice, like every time I saw him. And it was just like, oh, I wish I had said something else, or he would say that to me because it was just so awkward. So I think the table topics really help in those little moments where like, oh, it sure is hot outside today. It's like, oh man. But anyway, so the table topics will help us develop those 2-minute interactions where you're passing and then you just need a quick little conversation. So with that, I will pass it over to our table topics master.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. I'll be the table topics master. I will also add that table topics can also help you be a less boring CEO. You can think of some table topic questions to ask your employees. So for those of you who become CEOs, keep that in mind.
Avoid the weather.
So, yes, Donovan, when he becomes a CEO, keep that in mind. All right, so first question, and I think what I'll do is we'll keep it chill tonight, and I'll ask the question first, and whoever wants to take it can take it, and I'll just go for it, rather than me springing on you guys like I normally do. So the first question is going to be, what do you do in your spare time?
I'll take it. Oh, go ahead, Maurice. No, I'd rather you have it.
Yes.
It was close. Like I said, you guys were right at the exact same time.
In honored guests, the question that's been posed, what do I do with my spare time? Well, in my spare time, when I'm not at work, I like to sleep, eat, go walking. Well, on a serious tip, there are certain hobbies that I like to do. I guess one of my hobbies right now, and it changes from time to time, is doing ancestry. And I found out a lot of things with the last few years, especially from 2017 onward. But that's the main thing that I like to do in my spare time. And can't think off the top of my head another hobby, but whenever I get a hobby, I like to reach the apotheosis of it to where I master it and where it will help me develop mentally on my journey. Well, I guess another hobby is Toastmasters. I'll just give that, put that out there. So those are a couple of things I like to do in my spare time. Back to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Maurice. I appreciate that. Ancestry is a really cool hobby to have. I have which I didn't, you can meet some interesting people through Ancestry, which I'm sure you met some cool family members and stuff like that. I have a relative in Sweden who reached out to us and met us because he's really big into Ancestry, and he found out that our grandmother and his grandmother, I think, were a part of the same family, and one part of the family came to America and the other part of the family stayed in Sweden. And that his line comes from the part that stayed, my line comes from the part that came to America. And so he connected with us over that. And it was just cool because, I met someone that I never would have met if not for that hobby. So I've got a lot of respect for that hobby. All right, so the next question is, where did you grow up? And since I know, all right, Olivia, you take it and tell us, if it wasn't Mobile, tell us some specifics. Tell us about the street. Tell us about, tell us what it was like. Give us a good view.
Where did I grow up? Well, I am from Little Old Louisiana.
Okay.
And I started off in New Orleans on the east side of Chef Highway. So that is the first part of New Orleans that you enter if you're coming I-10 west. In other words, coming from here to New Orleans. That is the east. From there, my parents moved us into a little old town, which is about an hour southwest of New Orleans. And there I grew up around sugarcane. And on the ride home, it was swamps on both sides of the street. And you could see the little alligator eyes just hanging out right on the water line all the time. And I never thought of them as being scary or anything abnormal. They were just always hanging out on the way home. And sometimes we would count how many of them we would see. So alligators in Louisiana is just a way of life. I grew up around them. But on my street, two things that I will never forget. I remember it got so hot one day that my teacher at school said, watch, we can fry an egg on the ground. And sure enough, she cracked the egg and fried it, and it was the most amazing thing. So I got home, ran in the kitchen, got one of my mom's eggs. I thought she was going to be upset with me, but she wasn't. Because after I ran and got the egg and took it outside and hoped that I could crack it, hoped that it would fry, I was like, oh, my mom's going to kill me about messing with her stuff in the refrigerator. But she didn't, and the egg, it had cooled off a little bit, so I couldn't fry the egg. But the most memorable thing about my childhood in Louisiana was because we live so below sea level, you can just use a little shovel. Almost sometimes you can use a spoon and just turn up the yard and you will see little streams of water start to develop. We were just that low, far below sea level. Some places we're 8 to 10 feet below the level of the sea. So it's weird to see that. And it's also weird to see that no one is buried below ground. They're buried above ground because the old graves that were below ground, anytime there was really, really bad weather and bad flooding, you just see the caskets, the tombs would just rise up out of the ground. So it's weird. Not most people get an opportunity to see that. So growing up, again, it was common, it was natural for us. But those are things that most people don't see. Anyway, that's my childhood growing up in Louisiana. Back to you, Kyler, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate that. I appreciate the all the imagery of New Orleans. It's such a beautiful place. I really love visiting. It's kind of like a southern. It's like a southern staple. It's just like people ask me about this area, I point them in the direction of New Orleans. So, but yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. All right. So the next question is, what accomplishment are you the most proud of?
Oh, thank you.
All right, that's all you, Carrie.
What's the most successful accomplishment? That's a very good question because it's a great chance to use today's word apotheosis. It's slightly different from the topic you gave me. Recently, I was thinking about the Steve Jobs say connected dots. When I was a kid, I never thought that something I was interesting or just do hobby or just for fun. But when I grew up, it really works, helped my life, and it helped me successful something. And what is that is captain of the basketball team. When I was in junior high school days, I was the captain of the basketball team. It's just a captain for me. It was nothing because basketball was popular, but not as popular or crazy as the United States. I believe all of the American boys, at least once in their lifetime, played a basketball school club, or even just play with the neighbors. And I'm pretty sure they played a basketball in their life, but not in Japan. In Japan, I would say baseball, very popular. But anyway, I was the captain of the basketball team. And I came to the United States and I told them, and then people get me quite credit because basketball is a quite big deal again in the United States. So I really feel like that was yes feeling. I was so lucky to be the captain. Again, back then it was just a captain for me, but here is a big captain, and the people respect me sometimes, and easy to win the respect, or sometimes easy to start conversation with people in the United States. Even I have a different culture background, but something important for them. That's the common thing to me, and it really works. The captain of the basketball team is a quite apotheosis of my childhood. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Carrie, and excellent use of the word of the day. That's awesome. I didn't know you played basketball. That's so cool. I used to play when I was younger too. It was a lot of fun. It's a good sport. It's good exercise and it's very fun. All right. So the next question is, what is your favorite dessert? And tell me why it's your favorite dessert, because there's a lot of options out there. Why do you choose your favorite over the other options?
I'll answer that.
All right.
So I've been asked what is my favorite dessert. That's a very difficult question because I am a sweets person. I love all desserts pretty much equal. But I actually started a new job this week as a baker, and I got to make one of my favorite desserts, which actually doubles as a breakfast food. It is the apotheosis of the sweets world. It has cameoed its way into another meal, and not just dessert. But one of the things I got to do the other day was fry, ice, and sprinkle the donuts, and I love donuts so much. So that was fun, and I got to be a part of making them. It was really enjoyable. My second favorite dessert, because I cannot just say one, is going to be tiramisu. Also, it's got a breakfast item in there, the coffee, the cake soaked with the coffee, and then the custard on top. It is just magical, and I love dessert so much. One of my favorite things about dessert is, or about pastries, likewise, is like you're just having a bad day and you're like, oh man, I'm just gonna go grab a pastry. It's just like a good pick-me-up, and they're portable, you can take them anywhere, and then I love sweets in all forms. So back to you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Cheyenne. Yeah, those are some great desserts. I'm with you on the tiramisu, although I don't think it's as much of my favorite as it is your favorite, but I do really enjoy it. All righty, so the next question is, do you keep a journal? All right, Carrie.
I believe we have plenty of time to do twice of each for each of us. So let me take this question. Do I keep the journal? Yes, I do. Since I was 5 years old, I wrote the journal. Not every single day, but I would say sometimes almost every day, sometimes only once a week or a few times a month. Something really memorable and I want to write down. Then I write a journal. That's how I kept the journal for many years. If I wrote every single day, that would be stressful. That would be too much for me, and I quit years and years. But somehow I decided not to write that. I don't want to pressure myself. I don't want to be stressful. I just want to enjoy the journal, writing journal. That's why I do the only when I want to write on. Sometimes every day, almost every day, sometimes once a week, sometimes a few times a month. For example, last couple of days, we have Tokyo Olympic. That's my home country. I really want to write a lot of stuff. So I wrote quite often, almost every other day or something. And then yesterday, finally, it's over. I feel so empty now. And that's how I wrote down about, that's what I wrote down about. That's the journal, how the technique to keep journal for many years. And then also I started journal when I was 5 years old. I remember I do have the journal, that book. And sometimes I read, and I remember that day. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Carrie. Yeah, I too recently have been keeping a journal. As a little kid, I was too hyper to sit down and write anything. But as an adult, I've started to keep a journal, and it's done a lot of good for me. It's very helpful to look back at, you know, some of the things you've done and went through and how you were feeling during those times. So moving on in the portion of the meeting, one of the things we are considering is, Majed, if you're interested if you would like to do a pocket speech and just give us a quick update on your move to Texas and let us know how it went. Of course, no pressure, but okay, you like that? Okay, so in that case.
Not now, I'm sorry.
Not now? Okay, that's fine.
Maybe next Monday.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that would be great. So it'll give you some time to kind of think about it and get used to it. Okay, well, in that case, I'll just continue along with table topics questions while we're on the subject. All right, so this question's a little, well, I'm gonna skip that one. That might be too heavy. Okay, so here's a good question. What is the biggest physical challenge that you have faced? Like, you know, whether it be working out, whether it be, you know, a job where you had to move something that you didn't expect you have to move. There you go. All right, that'd be perfect question from Majed. So I will pass.
Yeah. You guys talking about physical move?
Yes, there you go.
You go see my still the rooms how they are. So, I think the topics today were so interesting, and so I had almost something to say about each of them, and good to hear all those stories, especially the Louisiana thing. I knew that last point she said about why it's elevated, but then she said, "Oh, now I know," and also the scoop of when you scoop it, how the water comes in. I know it's bad, but I didn't know that it's that bad. I don't know how. I always thought it's not a safe place to live. Being so close to water and so low, it's just against the natural feeling, or my guts seems like to me. But also on the cake, the sweets, I was about to close my camera, go get something. You need to stop at 2. I said, man, this 2, we need to stop at 2, not a third one. Okay, sorry, before I get hello, Toastmasters, honored friends. The question I've been asked is a recent challenge, especially a physical challenge that you have been going through. So I think this is very relevant to me for past 4 weeks that I've been involved in moving my stuff from Mobile here to Texas. Especially we had some good helpers to move, but again, moving is a gigantic task, and especially time and physical work is really involved. And as you are set into one house, you kind of get used to it, and you start hooting stuff. Now you know all house is full, and now you plan to move. It's like, wow, you need 2 trucks to move. So it's been first part was hard in the sense that physical work of throwing stuff that we don't want, and second part was getting them ready physically, boxed, and then unpacking here. So it's a lot of physical exercises that I've been going through. And also in the new job, I think it's a lot of different ask from previous. So I've been working since 4 weeks in parallel. It's like I just got off from work and got hopped on here. So it's different expectations on the work as well. So it's challenging for sure. Physical challenge as the time that you spend, and also psychological challenge, how you keep your work-life balance between your family and work. So this, I'm still learning. I haven't got to a point that I said I'm doing good, so I'm probably not doing good balancing out, but I hope I'll learn to balance myself. With this, I'll relinquish the lectern back to Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Majed, for sharing that with us. And I understand that kind of work-life balance can be pretty tough. It's kind of hard to leave stuff at work sometimes, but I think as long as you acknowledge you need the work-life balance, you're on track. I think the people who get in trouble are the people who don't realize they need that work-life balance. All right, so the next question is, do you like to dance or sing? And if you're the kind of person who would never dance or sing, you can also answer why you would never dance or sing. This question is pretty open-ended. All right, Olivia.
Toastmasters, the question is, do I like to dance or sing, or dance and sing? What was the question? Do I like to dance or sing, or dance and sing? And or? Or, okay. The question is, do I like to dance or sing? And for me, the apotheosis of my life would be, as a performing artist, I love to sing and dance. Now, I'm a little older than what I used to be, so it doesn't take much for me to get out of breath. And it's like, whoa, Jesus, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to have to do one or the other. So I envy those people like Beyonce and Gwen Stefani back in her, day. And when you see them doing all of these dance moves and they're spinning around and kicking, and then they don't sound out of breath because they're singing, they're belting out these lyrics. And I'm like, man, I can't do either of those. Let me sit down and I can hold a tune. But if I start dancing, the dance better be about a 2-minute dance, and it shouldn't require me to make any noises because it's going to come out terrible. So I like to dance or sing. I guess if I had to choose, singing would be my greatest pleasure out of those two. That is my answer. Back to you, Table Topics Master Kyler.
Awesome. Thank you, Olivia. Yeah, I like to sing, but I don't know if other people like to hear me sing, but I do it anyway. So just because I enjoy doing it so much, I'm just like, I'm just going to do it.
I don't know. Cheyenne, do you like it? We'll just put you on the spot right now.
Here's the thing. There's no like low or like medium. It's like gotta go full blast as loud as
what?
There's no
you like a little
there's no like singing to himself. It's like he's gotta sing as loud as he can. But
what?
Kyler's a dancer. Don't let him fool you.
I think you should give us a little sample, Kyler.
Oh man. Let's see. I'm just kidding.
Yes, please, sing.
No, we gotta do table topics. We
can make that a topic. I'll ask the question. Kyler, would you sing for us, please?
Well, wait till I've had a few beers and I'm at karaoke. Then.
Oh, okay.
Best performance.
Okay, that'll be at our first in-person meeting. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yes, that sounds good. Bring beer.
We'll have root beer.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
The sugar rush will be enough to get me going.
There you go.
So, all right. So I'm going to move to the next table topics question. So I'm actually going to pick on David and Donovan because y'all haven't had a chance to go yet. So it's between you guys. Well, it's okay. We got plenty of time for everyone to do more than one table topic. So it's okay if other people have been going. But I'm going to pick on you guys, and whoever, y'all can decide who wants to take this one. But this is a little more of like a interesting question. So what do you think is better, having high expectations or having low expectations? When you're in a situation, you're not sure what's going to happen. Would you rather expect something to be amazing or expect it to be a little lower? All right, Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master and honored guests. Well, actually, honored Toastmasters. My question is, do I rather low expectations or have high expectations? Well, I rather choose the high expectations, even though it gives more work. I personally think that by having high expectations, it's gonna challenge you to be able to achieve more, but also it also helps you to put in more work. By putting in more work to it, it kind of gives more of a better reward after that. And one of the things that I've learned is that my grandparents, basically my grandfathers, was in the military. My grandfather on my dad's side was in the army, and my other grandfather was in the Air Force. And they have a code that they have to follow. Well, they're going to probably have to have a dishonorable discharge if they misbehave. By thinking that, it kind of helps me to develop my own code by knowing that here's the parameters that you're to follow. And if you don't follow these parameters, there's going to be consequences. And if you don't, like, I bet y'all know the saying is, if you do the crime, you do the time. I believe in that, and I truly believe in discipline and putting the foot down. Sometimes you have to, and it's even harder to do that to yourself. And I just think it's helpful for myself, but also for others to be able to follow. And the one big thing is I watch lots of Inside Yes, so that kind of, helps me to, find my own way of living in a way, because in Inside Yes, they have rules that they follow, and it's fun to just to think that way. Thank you. Back to you. Back to you, honored Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Donovan. I appreciate your perspective on that. I respect your stoic look at the subject, and there's a lot of wisdom in what you said. All right, so what'll be our last table topic question, which I can offer to David if you like it, since he hasn't gone yet. But if you're not feeling it, and you want to pass it to someone else can take it too, of course. But I'm gonna give you first dibs. Okay. The table topics question is, what is the best part of your day?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. The table topics question for me is, what is the best part of my day? And I don't really have a good answer for my post-working life, but when I was working, the best part of my day was when I arrived home and got into my house and greeted my cat even though my cat liked to pretend like she didn't like me, she really did. And so when I got home, she would like claw on her little scratching post and come up and rub against my leg and then demand food. But I would come home and turn on the TV and start watching the news and having supper, and I felt the accomplishments of whatever I completed that day at work. So this was my time to unwind and just catch up on things around the house at my own pace. So that was the favorite part of my day during my working career. That's it for me. Thank you. And back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that. That's the best part of my day right now too. We have some cats that it's funny you mentioned they kind of act like a little bit at first, like they're not interested in you, but after you're there for a little while, they do. Especially if we're away, if Cheyenne and I go on a trip, we have one cat that will act offended that we were gone so long. Like she won't look at us or talk to us for, maybe a day or two. And then eventually she'll warm back up to us and she likes us and everything's fine. But she gives us the cold shoulder for a little bit. So maybe that's what your cat does. It's just a little bit of the cold shoulder and then just like warms up when you're back. So, but yeah, as you can tell, I adore cats. I absolutely love them. All right, guys, this was a great table topics meeting or portion of the meeting. I really enjoyed it. I like asking the questions. As I've said before, I think table topics is my favorite part of the meeting because I get to know all you guys a little bit better and hearing everyone's different perspectives and backgrounds in life. And I enjoy the fact that we're such a diverse group of people, but we can all come together over so many things and learn so much about each other and learn more about the world in general through talking to each other. So with that, I will turn the lectern back to the Toastmaster of the evening, Cheyenne.
All right, thank you. And I always enjoy I do like hearing the speeches, but I do like the table topics when they're extended, as he said, kind of get to know each other a little bit better. Since we're not seeing each other in person, it just adds a little more personableness. That's not a word. It adds just a little more personal touch to the online meetings. So with that, I will pass it over to our general evaluator for the next portion of our meeting. Thank you.
For some reason, my camera is not working, so I'm sorry that you guys can't see me, but you can hear me, correct? Okay, great. So I am your general evaluator for the evening, and I would like to say that the meeting started at 7:47, which actually is a record for us here lately because sometimes it takes us about 5 to 10 minutes to get all the roles assigned and everyone gets all seated and comfy and ready to go. So great job to us all for being able to get started only 2 minutes after our original start time. So kudos to us for that. Thank you very much. Let's see. We had an awesome table topics portion. I really enjoyed it. I think everyone had some great responses, some great use of the word of the day. We did not have any prepared speeches, but that's okay. I did have a prepared speech, and I actually left it at work. So I will be definitely planning to do a speech, and I encourage everyone else to get your speeches ready and let's start spilling them out. I will call on the rest of the team to give me their role and their results. So if I could, I will call on, let's see, our timer. Donovan, that's you.
Thank you, everyone, and prestigious Toastmasters. My role was to be the timer, and I reported the time for the table topics. Olivia's first table topic, she had 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Sorry.
Majid had 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Maurice's table topic was 1 minute and 24 seconds. Cheyenne's table topic was 1 minute and 23 seconds. Carrie's first table topics was 2 minutes and 5 seconds. David's table topic was 57 seconds. And myself was 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Olivia's second table topic was 1 minute and 9 seconds. And Carrie's second table topic was 1 minute and 29 seconds. Thank you, Mr. Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Donovan, for your report. Very good, everyone. Next, I would like to call on Carrie, which is our R counter.
Good evening, everyone, again. My role is a counter. Maris, I didn't hear anything. Olivia, your first speech, or first table topic speech, I heard so twice that you could skip.
Mhm.
And your second speech, so twice, you know, once, twice. Cheyenne, I didn't hear anything. Debbie, also, I didn't hear anything. Majid, I heard so twice, 5 times, you know, once. And Donovan, I heard like once, once, you know, once, and you may overuse and. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carrie, for your report for the all counter. And I also have a double role tonight, so I'm also the grammarian. And I did not notice any misuse of the English language. And for the word of the day, please correct me if I'm wrong. I have Cheyenne twice, Maurice once, Carrie. I was having some interference, but I know I heard at least once. Did you happen to use it more than one time? You used it more than once?
Twice.
Twice,
I used
okay.
twice.
Okay, and Olivia once. Anybody else use the word of the day? Please let me know. If not, I think that is it. And I will just wrap up our general evaluation and just say good job, everyone. Thank you for your attendance. Majid is so glad to see you. I was kind of concerned if we were ever going to see you again. So glad to see you, and we are excited to hear about your move and how you and your family is getting set up in Texas. What city are you in?
I'm in Irving. It's like south of Dallas, south of Dallas.
Oh, okay. Got you. Okay, so you're less than 10 hours away. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we still are glad that you were able to get back on and hope things are going to smooth themselves out pretty soon. And I think that is it for our general evaluation. So I will pass this back to Cheyenne, our Toastmaster for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have a educational overview this evening?
No one signed up for one.
Okay, well, with that, I will pass it over to our president to wrap up the meeting.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And I think our meeting was pretty good tonight. Again, I'm most excited about the fact that we were able to start at 6:47, which is a record for us because we usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes for us to get it all together. So I'm excited about that. Thank you all for coming. Please do not forget the club success plan and then the club proxy. I will get with Maurice on that one, and I will definitely help Donovan because he has to have one for the secretary. So I'll get with Maurice to make sure that Donovan and I are doing that properly. the club success plan. If you have any issues with being able to print this, I know everyone is a headache when it's time to print something, especially if you're printing from home, because either we're always out of black ink or something's going wrong. So if you are having some difficulties in getting this printed, then just please let me know, and I'll see what I can do to accommodate you. We'll do something, because so Maurice can get these, we can get these turned in right away. I turned in the one that Maurice had written, which was our draft success plan. Crystal thought it was beautiful. She really appreciated it. So she accepted it, but we do need to get the signed one turned in. We can now take that vote to see how do we all feel about trying to do the hybrid meetings, or maybe should we postpone trying to continue or trying to have the hybrid meetings? We'll take a vote. So anyone that still wants to pursue having the hybrid meetings, you can just raise your hand, and my hand is down. Anyone that wants to pursue the hybrid meetings right now? Okay, well, we will consider that a unanimous vote that we will hold off on the hybrid meetings. I will still get with Wes and with Luke to see what information they have already in the chambers, so that when the time comes, hopefully this Delta variant will come in and go on out real soon, and we can continue with our pursuit. I think that is it for me. I just ask that we all stay safe. Remember to take your necessary precautions. And the life that you save might be your very own, or at least one of your family members. That is it for me for tonight. I had the pleasure of running into Kyler yesterday, so that was good. So I really enjoyed. So I had my first hybrid meeting with Kyler and I. It was great. Also, John, remember, I hate that my camera's not working. I think I told you this, Maurice, that John, the real tall guy, him and his wife.
John Murphy.
Yes, well, he and I worked together, so he just took a position at Airbus, and he is probably the tallest man there. So it is very easy to notice him when he walks in, because he is so tall. So I did invite him to come back and at least show his face or something. So he said he would consider it, but I think him and his wife are kind of busy with some other endeavors right now. So that was good. I was going to reach out to, oh my goodness, who was our president that went off to school? Diego, right. Yeah, because I have his number. So has anyone heard from him?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I said I was going to just text him and see how he was doing. Hopefully everything's going okay with him in school. All right, that is it for me, guys. Does anyone else have anything?
I just wanted to welcome back Majid. Wanted to welcome back Majid. It's good to see you again. I know it's moving, especially to another state, is incredibly hectic, so I understand, but hope you can stay back with us, and because you're a big part of our club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Glad to see you.
Okay. Also, we got to remember to do our moments of truth. I don't know if we did it last year, but
we did
moments of truth this year.
I think I still have that email, because I've actually used it for some things I had to do outside of Toastmasters. But if you have it handy, Maria, could you send it back out to us?
Yes.
If you have it. And it was something else I was going to say, and it just slipped my mind. Okay. All right. I guess that's it. Okay, everyone, we got a few minutes. Oh, I was going to say, just please go ahead and make sure you get into Easy Speak and accept your role. I remember what I wanted to say. We can go ahead and vote now if it's okay with you all. We do have Labor Day coming up in a few weeks. So, and it's always on a Monday. And we just want to make sure that we're all okay. Or I need to see if you guys want to have a meeting on Labor Day or not. So normally we are always off for major holidays. So I vote that we continue to be off on major holidays, but if someone has a hanking to be in the meeting on Labor Day, then I will be here with you. Is that a no across the board? No meeting? Okay, no meeting for Labor Day. I think that's no meeting. And let's see what date that is. Oh, I can never get things to work when I want them to. Okay, that will be September the 6th. We will not meet. So that's about 3 weeks from today. All right, guys, that is it for me. The time is now 7:42, so I think we did pretty good for the evening. If all minds are clear, we can log off of here.
All right. Good night.
All righty. Take care, everyone.
Have
a good night.
Very nice to see you again,
Bye.
everyone. Good night. Have a good week.
Good night. Good to see you all. Bye. Same here.